What does the unemployment rate really measure? It's not a perfect indicator of joblessness or the health of the labor market. It excludes discouraged workers, so individuals that have been trying to find a job but have not been successful and they give up. It does not distinguish between full-time and part-time work or people working part-time because full-time jobs are not available. So those people would be underemployed. Some people flat out misrepresent their work status. It still is a very useful barometer of the labor market and the economy. The duration of unemployment. Most spells of unemployment are relatively short. Typically, a third of the unemployed have been unemployed for under 5 weeks, and 2/3 have been unemployed under 14 weeks. Only 20% have been unemployed over 6 months. Yet, most observed unemployment is long-term. The small group of long-term unemployed persons has fairly little turnover, so it accounts for most of the unemployment over time. Knowing these facts will help policymakers or helps policymakers design better policies to help the unemployed. What's the difference between cyclical and natural unemployment? There's always some unemployment, though the unemployment rate fluctuates from year to year. The natural rate of unemployment is the normal rate of unemployment around which the actual unemployment rate fluctuates. Cyclical unemployment is a deviation of unemployment from its natural rate, associated with business cycles, which we'll study in a later chapter. So this graph shows the natural rate of unemployment. So generally that's somewhere around 4 to 6% of the population that will always be unemployed. So that's considered a normal rate of unemployment. Anything below or above that represents cyclical unemployment, and you can see over time that can deviate quite a bit from the natural rate of unemployment. So even when the economy is doing well, there's always some people that are unemployed. Frictional unemployment occurs when workers spend time searching for the jobs that best suits their skills and tasks. Short term for most workers in this situation. So, for example, someone that graduates from college and they're trying to find their first job. Structural unemployment occurs when there are fewer jobs than workers. This is usually longer term because the skill set that the person possesses is no longer in demand. Workers can have different tastes and skills, and jobs have different requirements. A job search is the process of matching the workers with the appropriate jobs. Sectoral shifts refer to changes in the composition of demand across industries or in different regions of the country. Displace some workers who must search for new jobs appropriate for their own skills and tastes. Government employment agencies will provide information about job vacancies to speed up the matching of workers with jobs. Public training programs aim to equip workers displaced in declining industries with the skills that they would need to get a job in an industry that's growing. Unemployment insurance is a government program that partially protects workers' incomes when they become unemployed. It increases frictional unemployment. People respond to incentives. Unemployment benefits end when a worker takes a job, so workers have less incentive to search or take jobs while eligible benefits are being received. The benefits, however, of unemployment insurance is it does reduce uncertainty over incomes, and it gives the unemployed more time to search, resulting in better job matches and thus higher productivity. Here's a graph of structural unemployment. Structural unemployment occurs when there are not enough jobs to go around, so the supply of labor exceeds the demand for labor in a particular industry. This occurs when the wage is kept above equilibrium, and there are 3 reasons for this. The first is minimum wage laws. minimum wage may exceed the equilibrium wage for the least skilled or experienced workers, and that can cause structural unemployment. But this group is a small part of the labor force, so the minimum wage cannot explain most unemployment. Unions are workers associated within an industry that negotiate or bargain with employers over wages, benefits, and working conditions. They exert market power to negotiate higher wages. The typical union worker will earn 20% higher wages and get more benefits than a non-union worker for the same type of work. Unions raise the wage above equilibrium. The quantity of labor demanded falls and unemployment results. Insiders, workers who remain employed, are better off. Outsiders, people that end up losing their jobs, are worse off. Some outsiders will go to non-unionized labor markets, which increases labor supply and reduces the wages in those markets. Are unions good or bad? Economists do not agree on this. Critics of unions say unions are like cartels. They raise wages above equilibrium, which causes unemployment and/or depresses wages in non-union labor markets. However, advocates will argue that unions counter the market power of large firms, and they make firms more responsive to the needs of workers. The theory of efficiency wages says that firms voluntarily will pay above equilibrium wages to boost worker productivity. So this is going to argue that workers will respond to incentives. Different versions of efficiency wage theory suggest different reasons why firms. So under the efficient wage theory, there are 4 reasons why firms might pay a wage that's considered efficient. Worker health. In less developed countries, poor nutrition is a very common problem. Paying higher wages allows workers to eat better, makes them healthier and more productive. Worker turnover. Hiring and training new workers is expensive for companies. Paying high wages gives workers more incentive to stay and thus reduce turnover. Worker quality. Offering higher wages attracts better job applicants, increases the quality of the firm's workforce. And finally, worker effort. Workers can work hard or shirk. Shirkers are fired if they get caught. Is being fired a good deterrent? That depends on how hard it's going to be for that person to find another job. If the market wage is above the equilibrium wage, there aren't enough jobs to go around, so workers have more incentive to work and not be unproductive in this active learning. You're going to look at each of the following situations and identify which ones would be most likely to reduce frictional unemployment.